The male is head of the female.
In the quote we shared on June 4th, referencing the verse we read about the man being the head of the woman, Christ being the head of all men, and God being the head of Christ, Christ Lisbeth used a Bible version that says man and woman, but this time she is using a version that says male and female. In these verses, every time it says woman or female, it is always referring to Christ, but when it says male and man, which also appear more than once in the same verse, doesn't always refer to the same beings or nouns. In some places, it refers to God the Father, and in others, to the man or male created according to God's image and likeness, which includes both men and women. The figure of being the head is synonymous to the light of Christ, and it represents God's wisdom, truth, and guidance at all times, and without ceasing. If you have received the mind of Christ, her wisdom to guide you as your head, then as a believer in the truth of God, the Father Melchizedek, and Christ Lisbeth, you must not hide the gifts, the power, and faith that she has given you, but rather, you must share them with others. Depending on the circumstance, it may be through her words or her deeds, which speak louder than words. That is why it says in Matthew 5, verses 14 through 16, "You who have the mind of Christ are the light of the world. A city set on a mountain, the figure of Zion, the Jerusalem from above, cannot be hidden. Neither do you light a lamp and place it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, so that it shines upon all who are in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good deeds which you have learned from the light, Christ Lisbeth, and glorify your Father, who is now in the heavens, is dwelling in your minds." Now, let's read verse 8 of 1 Corinthians 11, so that these concepts can be clear. The male, referring to God the Father, does not proceed from the female, from Christ, but rather, the female proceeds from the male. What this means is that Christ is not known as such until she is resurrected by God the Father. Verse 9, "Neither was the male created for the female, but the female was created for the male." Verse 9 clearly refers to Christ because it is the woman who was given to man to be its helper on the path, as it says in Genesis 2:18, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make him an ideal helper." And that is why it says that the woman was created for the man. It is not the man who was created for the woman. In other words, Christ is the one who was brought to produce God's creation within man. The creation of man in the image and likeness of God, the Father and Mother, is not how the religious system has lied to us about, making us believe that a man was literally formed from the dust of the earth as a physical human being of flesh and blood, when that is absurd, and it is foolish to even think it. Amen. To be continued.